Hello and welcome back to Rugby Wrap-Up for this week's The Rugby Odds, starring WWE Hall of Famer and Fox Business Analyst John Bradshaw Layfield, his gambling guru, the best sports bettor ever, the Philly Godfather, and the gift to rugby and mankind, Gift Egbelu of the Gift Time Rugby Network.
Oh, guys, it's so great to see you all. You're all calling in from different places. John's up in Maine.
Nope, I'm actually in Boston Harbor. I found the tea.
He's in Boston Harbor, which is in Maine, ironically, John thinks, and he has found the tea that was dumped in the Gulf. I don't know how that worked out, but you'll have to go back and look at the previous shows. Godfather, you're back in your home studio. Gift, where are you? What is that behind you, Gift?
I mean, look, we got to give recognition to the island, the two-time medalist island, Fiji, getting it, their third medals all time in the Olympics, 2 in the same Olympics. Give it credit.
All right, of course.
Matt, before you go ahead, if we're giving people credit, we got to give Layfield credit because he didn't just find the tea. He found the gold in the men's and women's rugby tournament in the Olympics. So give Layfield a bunch of credit here.
True story.
Praise from Caesar. Praise from Caesar. Hallelujah. Yes, how about that, Matt?
And all I feel like saying to you, Godfather, is a tu brute.
Hey, now.
And this tea I found here, somehow there wasn't a tax paid on it. I don't understand that.
Yeah, you guys are jumping out of turn here. I know you're all excited.
You're out of order. We're out of order. The whole place is out of order, man.
That's exactly right.
Layfield, you found gold. You picked the gold medal winners. You picked the men's Fiji. You picked the women's New Zealand.
Same bolt thing, but I got to hold my phone up.
Take a bow, John. Take a bow. Try not to hit your nose on your knee.
Is my road game working?
We ruined the teaser. We ruined the cliffhanger about talking about the Olympics. That was going to be after the commercial break. Nice going, Gift. But yes, hats off to the nation of Fiji. They are a wonderful people, and they are. It's great to see them get that. Especially they have no resources really, and for them to get back-to-back gold medals in the men's is amazing. But their women's story is even more amazing. Gift, why don't you share a little bit with us about that?
I mean, this is a team that has. I remember in 2015, whenever they first were starting to put the women's team together, it was just some quiet women, very scared, not very well conditioned. Fast forward 6 years later, beating Australian Oceania Sevens, coming back and just demolishing everybody. When you talk about being able to put on one of the single best rugby sevens games in history, I talked about the semifinals versus New Zealand, coming down to the wire. Like, this was boat races, this was track meet, this was everything to the last second for New Zealand to barely scrape over to get that win. Like, you got to give them credit because from what even the coaches said, some of the women that played literally just started this last year.
And just to clarify, when you refer to boat races, you're not referring to when we sit on the floor and act like Hawaii Five-0 and Chuck.
We're just talking about the straight action of just seeing people play hard-nosed, grown-ass woman rugby.
Grown-ass woman rugby. Grown-ass woman rugby. I'm sure that we'll get letters for that.
I don't have any grown-ass woman rugby behind me. I got some boats behind me, but I picked both gold medal winners.
He did. And you know what? It's about picking the winners here. As painful as it is to admit that John Bradshaw Layfield picked both gold medal winners, we have to stick to that mantra that we have of making people money. And if you bet the gold with John, you made a lot of money.
Well, let me make something clear here. Now, before the semifinal game, the Philly Godfather is the one that said, hey, it's a plus 125 or plus 135, something to that effect, to pick Fiji now. So that's the reason I actually made a bet on Fiji, because I realized I wasn't betting on Fiji for the semifinals. I figured they'd win. I'm betting on them in the finals. And because of Godfather, I got me a plus money bet. I got a pocket full of money and a gold medal.
And Godfather, we have to tip our caps to you because you're the one that actually has anything in his head that means anything on this show, specifically when it comes to gambling. And let's move on from the Olympics now. Okay, let's go back to the script, guys. Read off your teleprompters and stop jumping ahead. Let's go back to the MLR final, the Major League.
Before we go, did we mention that I picked both gold medal winners?
I think we did. in case we missed it.
Yeah, I picked both gold medal winners.
Blind squirrel, wise, sagging nuts stepped on by John this time, but he actually won because he listened to the Godfather when the rest of us didn't.
You have a lot of analogies with squirrels and nuts.
Oh, this is going to be a tough one to get through. My producer off camera is saying we got to move forward. We're trying. Major League Rugby's final. The beautiful Coliseum, Los Angeles Coliseum, sun-splashed grass field, just perfect conditions. And they had some rugby played on that match. It wasn't the defensive struggle that the three of you thought it was going to be. It was more like what I thought it was going to be. I picked 35-21 was the final score and wasn't that far off. It was 31-17. The over was 48.5, so it was 48 points, which means with LA minus 6.5, if you had LA and you were laying the 6.5, you won. And if you had less than 48.5 points, you won. Anybody here have that combination? Anyone? No, you can put your hand down, John. You only had half of it right.
You play back.
You said,
I could have swore John said take the Giltinis minus the 6.5.
ladies and gentlemen, this is the persecution yours truly faces on a week-to-week basis on the Rugby Odds, with these guys doubting everything that they actually say when it's all on camera. Layfield, you hear that? You said, I like LA to win, but I don't think they're going to cover the spread, but it's going to be over. Under.
Play back the tape.
I think the Giltinis end up winning this. I'm not sure they cover the point spread, but they're going to win it, and the point total goes under.
And there it is.
You know what I like about you, Matt? You know what I like about you? You always shoot for the stars, for the moon. And even if you miss, you land with us guys, the stars. So, you did a great job this year, rugby. You called the LA Giltinis. I could have swore you said bet the over, but I think you have to play the tape back. Just saying.
Oh, because John actually pressed me because I forgot to choose between the over and the under. And he asked me and he pressed me, what about the diamond? What about the diamond? And I said, I'll take the under. And, it's like you learn how to translate what he mumbles with his hillbilly accent. No offense to any hillbillies out there.
You know what I like about you, Matt? Nothing.
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 Let's talk about the Major League Rugby season, guys. We were assigned to pick winners. We did a lot of that, except for Gift. He finished one game under 500.
I mean, I came in a week late, so I feel like I was already at a disadvantage. And
Yeah, but time out. To give Gift credit, he did have the Atlanta future, where if you bet him at the beginning of the year, great odds, and then in the final, you could have hedged the other side and made a ton of money. He gave out some money line picks that weren't in his record. In actuality, he actually turned a profit.
And he left us with countless expressions that we didn't have in our arsenal prior to this season. And you know how humble I am and reluctant I am to accept accolades, but I did have the best record overall picking in these matches over the course of the season. Godfather, you of course were handicapped by coming in late, and you were also picking the big ticket items like the line against the line, all that jazz. So.
It's action will remove all doubt that theory can't solve, and your actions prove that you are a mastermind when it comes to betting on rugby.
And excellent at editing. Give me a reflection on the season. Gift, we'll start with you.
Hey, look, I think it was a great complete season. It was probably the most, I want to say, interesting. Big shout out, New Orleans Gold, really taking it to the edge. They made at least most of my picks not incorrect, so I'd give them a lot of credit for that. But overall, it was a great season. At least it was distinctive enough to be able to make predictions worthy.
John, as per normal, I want you to be confused by the Gift before you give your answer, and then I'll listen to the Godfather. Go ahead.
How would you like to close caption Gift? That's awesome. I love Gift. I'm from the South. I understand him. I've got like a Gift Rosetta Stone that I studied. I understand perfectly.
And you know what, John? You not only did we have the Rosetta Stone, but we learned a lot about mountain climbing from you.
Yes, we did. The difference is between Alexes. There's a big, big difference between Alexes.
And I think we learned about Smokey. I think Smokey's in the background. Gift. Can we hear Smokey there? Is that what's going on? The cat?
I wish. This is a phantom cat over here.
Oh, okay. Godfather. Some comments on the season and your colleagues here.
I mean, the cream always rises to the top, and we saw LA Giltinis, who started off on fire, finished the same way. Atlanta, young, hungry team, fast team, made it to the finals. Utah, a team that I don't think too many people expected, they gave it a great run. It was an amazing season, and we have the Godfather of wrestling, one of the greatest champions of all time, John Layfield, on the show. We have the Gift Father with all the great, the flub, the rickshaw, you name it. He came out with some of the greatest terms I've ever heard in my life. And of course, myself. And I don't know what to call you, Matt, but you're pretty good.
You don't have to. I understand. There's a lot you can call me, Godfather. I understand that. There's a lot. We don't have to get into all of it right now.
You know what it is, Matt? You know what it is? This is like Alex Hamilton. He helped found the country. Alex Darrow helped found Major League Rugby. So it's the difference between two Alexes. And this group here is like Mount Rushmore, like before Teddy Roosevelt got in there. So like we're like the three early great presidents. We need the fourth because, unfortunately, Matt, you didn't make the cut for Mount Rushmore.
As long as we're making people money, that's our objective, and we did that. We made you a lot of money out there, ladies and gentlemen, if you bet with us this season, and we're going to continue that in another iteration of the show for overseas rugby. But we're not done with this one yet because we're going to take a quick break and come back and talk Springboks. Springboks versus British and Irish Lions. John. We'll be right back.
If you're in New York City and want to watch some great rugby, have some great food, and some great times, go to the world's best rugby pub, the Pig and Whistle on West 36th Street.
Been blind since I was 4. And I've never seen a beer commercial or a beer label. None of that stuff influences me. I drink beer because of the taste. And my beer's Pabst Blue Ribbon. It has the taste and the flavor.
What do you think's on the label?
I think there's a naked woman riding on a unicorn, jumping over fire. Oh, that's good beer.
And we are back with John Bradshaw, Layfield, the Philly Godfather, and Gift Egbelu. I'm Matt McCarthy, and ladies and gentlemen, we finished with the MLR season in which we were admittedly stellar. And now we are looking at the final test for the Springboks and the British and Irish Lions down in South Africa. The Springboks bounced back in a big way. It was a little tight at halftime, squeaky bum time. I think it was 9-6 was the score, but then an unbelievably dominant second half gift by the Springboks.
I mean, look, you can't take away from what they can do. That first game was just rust being released from the body. In this situation, they were able to remember exactly who they were and what land that they're on. And Springboks are still, until proven otherwise, the number one team in the world. Not the country, not the region, the world. No all-star Union Jack flying team is going to be taking anything from them in this situation. So,
yeah, I agree with you. We were all wrong on the first match because we were delayed a match with that rust being knocked off the wheels for the Springboks, but they came back, played a great match, covered the spread, but did not. Well, they were getting 1.5 and they won outright, but they did not do the over. Except here's one detail, and I hate to admit this. I really hate to admit this, but when we tape, the line is one thing. Then the line changed, and our savvy guys like the Godfather and the Godfather tells a guy like John that the line's changed, and then John will go and bet the new unders or over, right, John? Isn't that what you did?
That is true. The line went down to 36.5 game time, and I took the over because I thought it gone down too much. I just thought that was just too few points for these two teams.
The Godfather, are you getting any commissions from John? Because, when you're basically a Cyrano de Bergerac when you're telling him how to bet these things, John, the line changed.
I'm getting the greatest commission you can in life, and that's a real friendship.
Oh,
that's right. We're friends. And we've added Gift to our friend circle.
You know what? It's okay. I'm just a facilitator of making people money and building your friendships. That's fine. That's okay by me, as long as we're getting paid. All right, but we got another match coming up with the Springboks. So, John, what was the line? Oh, you didn't do your research. You didn't do your homework. You had one job to do, and instead you went golfing. Godfather, what's the numbers here? Why rely on the amateur?
The Springboks are -3.5. The combined total of the game is 38.5.
All right. So, Gift, what do you think of that? And do we need to explain what that means to you?
You know what? See. This is why people treat you the way that they do. Anyways, aside from that, but with the Springboks, I actually look at this as a very interesting situation. There is so much anger and vitriol that happened after this game, especially considering like the first half took like 3 hours in and of itself in terms of replay time, TMO time, whatever, ref hate, coaches talking. I mean, this is the perfect situation for everybody to absolutely try and murder each other. Like, you couldn't ask for a better setup, because I don't know if it was going to be enough competition for it to just be one-on-one or just the Lions tour. But to now, it's personal. And I feel like the Springboks are going to absolutely select violence in this. We're looking at them to go and not only take that 3.5, they're going to say, hey, we're going to triple it. We're going to triple it. We're going to triple it and come at you like this is a riot inside of St. Louis. Like, it's about to be fiery over there. And then, take the over with the total points.
Oh, those are some big words there. You're talking a big game. And, but you're right, though. There's a lot of stuff going on off the pitch. Rassi Erasmus, who was the head coach when they won the World Cup in Tokyo in 2019 and now is the director of rugby, blasted the referees after the first match. And now he's being fined by World Rugby, or they're going to investigate how to find him or fine him or whatever. So he's now said he's not going to talk anymore. But lots going on, and it sets the stage for perhaps a British and Irish Lions upset here, John.
I don't think so. I wish this was played in front of a crowd. I mean, you really lose a home field advantage here for South Africa because of COVID. It looks like they're not going to have a crowd again, and especially with all of the fieriness that's going on that Gift's talking about. This is awesome. These are two great, tough teams, but there's a tale of two halves. In the first game, the Springboks came out, they were flat. I think they were tired. Second game, they had one game under the belt. They destroyed them in the second half. I think they do the same thing this week. I think 3.5 is not enough points. I think the Springboks win, and I think the total goes over.
All right, Godfather, a couple of things here. You said that no way the drunks from Great Britain would win this one, or from the UK would win this one. How about now? You think after they won the first one that was just a lark, and now they're going to take the next two and take the series?
I don't know. I think the Springboks are just too good, too fast for that team. There's also another way to bet this. There's a 3-way money line bet. You can lay -170 on the money line on the Springboks. You can take +130 on the Lions, or you can bet the draw at 17-1.
You bet 170 to win 100, right?
Yeah, you're risking 170 to win 100 on the money line. So if they just got to win the game.
Godfather, you just made me think about this here, because those drunks from the UK and Northern Ireland are in a bubble. So all they could do is drink in their hotel rooms. That's all they're doing. They're just drinking the hotel dry. And this is their third game down against the Springboks. Springboks are used to being on lockdown. I'm going to lay the 170 on the line. I'm also going with the Springboks with the points. And what was the over under?
38.5.
I'm going for the over.
All right, let's bet a 3-team parlay. Well, you can't. I'm going to lay the 170 and go over in a 2-team parlay. So
I'm doing that too. I'm doing that too.
No, you're not.
I am.
Yes.
I misspoke. The Godfather has words. I'm listening to the Godfather.
This way, when you bet a 2-side parlay, you don't pay the juice. So you slide into -170 and you bet the over.
Yeah. All right. And get final thoughts.
I just wanted to say, JBL, I learned so much about also Sam Houston. I feel like that was not given proper rating, all right? And Godfather, I know more about gambling now than ever, and I at least know I can still host anything in comparison. So thank you, everybody.
You weren't hosting this. I was hosting this. What the hell?
Yeah, but he was the star of the show.
I'm the host.
You're the host, but Gift is a star.
What the
he's the star of the
fizzle,
whole show.
Gift? Come on, I'm still here. Hello? Still alive. All right, but we are still alive too, because, ladies and gentlemen, we are in talks to come back and do the URC and perhaps the English Premiership and maybe even the Rugby Championship, so we can make you money all over the world. So you'll have to tune in next week. And in the meantime, I want to thank Mr. John Bradshaw, Layfield, the Hall of Famer of the WWE, the Godfather, the Philly Godfather, just the best goddamn sports better ever, and Gift Egbelu, who's apparently the host of this show while he's not the gift to rugby and mankind. On behalf of these gentlemen, I'm Matt McCarthy. We'll see you next time. But in the meantime, please check out our other segments, including our Major League Rugby show, Martial Law, the Zack Attack, and please sign up for our Rugby Wrap-Up Red Cross Blood Donor Team.